Good morning from Lille, France, and welcome to this fifth question and answer session. This is the fifth, we're already at 4. This session is recorded, so no worries. The recording will be available on our website shortly after today's session. You can already find the recordings of the previous sessions on also Interreg Europe website. And there will be one last question and answer session on 2nd of June. My name is Camille. I'm a finance officer at Interreg Europe. And today I will be moderating this question and answer session, but of course I won't be alone. Together with me, there will be my colleagues, Ségolène and Diane. Hi ladies, how are you today? I see we got the same inspiration this morning for the outfit. We are matching.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Well, indeed, Camille, I think we are matching the sky indeed.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you. And yes, all in blue for today's Q&A.
Great. Of course, you will see us on screen, but we are not alone. We are supported by our colleague, Josephine, Petra, and Mia behind the screen. So hi to them and thanks also for the support. We are here together this morning for 1 hour to answer any questions you might have related to the second call for project proposal. So really, it's the moment. Any questions, any doubts, any need for clarification, ask your question. And you might ask, where do I ask my question? Well, it's simple. You need to use Slido. You can see the slide now. You can use the QR code, or you can go directly on slido.com and use the code Interreg Europe. Please ask your question there. You can even write your name so we can address the answer directly to you. And the chat of Zoom can be used for general communication, but please really address your questions on Slido. We already received quite a number of questions, I have to say, so we will start answering them first, and then we will take the new questions we receive. So don't hesitate to ask your question. Maybe also a reminder that the second call is open since 15th of March and will close on 9th of June. That's also the reason we're here today, to answer your question. And maybe before to start and before I pass the floor to my colleagues to answer your questions, a question to you participants to know how you know us, how you got to know us, and how familiar you are with Interreg Europe. So I leave you a few seconds to answer, to know if you're familiar with Interreg Europe. It's also interesting to know for us who our audience is today. So I think the answer are getting in. Maybe a few more seconds before we close the poll. Okay, maybe we can see the results. Okay, so I see that 55% of you have taken part in an Interreg Europe project. 18% have applied project before, and 27 heard about the program, but this is the first time. So that's interesting to know that we have a mixed audience of people who already got an experience with Interreg Europe and people who are, let's say, newcomers to the program. Whether you are one or the other, again, don't hesitate to ask your question. And talking about it, I think it's now time for us to start. As I said, we already received quite many questions, I have to say. So let's start with the first one. And maybe this one is for you, Diane. Someone is asking, what is a reasonable amount of good practices to be identified within the scope of the project?
Thank you, Camille, for the question, and for Anonymous. It's nice if you put your name so that we can connect a bit more with you during this session. There is not a perfect or a specific number of good practices. It depends really on your project, the partnership, the region that are in the project, the number and the ecosystem. So no specific number, really depending on your project, and I'm sure that you will see the ecosystem of each region and what needs to be outlined in your project.
Great. Thanks a lot, Diane, for this. Now maybe a question for Ségolène. Someone, well, not someone actually, Daphne is asking when the projects that will be approved are supposed to start. Can you answer, Daphne, please, Ségolène?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Daphne. Great to see that you're already eager to start. So on our side, we don't have any defined date for now, because of course it will depend on the number of applications also that we receive and on the process. However, we expect more or less our project to start at the beginning, first semester, I would say, of 2024, so next year, if everything goes well, and then again, depending on the number of application and on the process. So next year, you should be able to start.
Yes, definitely. Now a question about the specific priorities and where we can find more detailed descriptions. Diane, maybe you want to say something about it.
Yes, thank you for this question. So as you already seen in the manual, you've got the specific objectives mentioned there. We are not going into details more in the program manual itself. However, you can check the Article 5 of the Common Provision Regulations and also Article 3 of the RTF regulations if you want more details. My colleague will put the link to those two regulations in the chat. However, I wouldn't worry too much about going into details in this. What I mean by that is that Interreg Europe program has enlarged its scope. It's so large that mostly everything is tackled. So depending on the challenge you are addressing in your project and the policy instrument addressed, you should find the objective in relation to this.
Great, thanks a lot. Maybe another question for you that was asked twice, but it's the same question. Question from Marit, that does the authority responsible for the policy instrument directly related to job and growth have to be an AMA, managing authority, or could it be an intermediate body?
That's a great question, Marty, and thank you for this. Well, in often the managing authority are the policy responsible authority of the investment for job and growth call program. However, it is possible also to have intermediate bodies that are the policy responsible authorities. We have a table on our website that is listing the investment for job and growth call programs per country that my dear colleague Josephine just put in the chat. So you can have a look there. For example, if you take Austria, the country, you will see that depending on the policy instrument tackled, it is or the managing authority or an intermediate body that is the policy responsible authority. So really depending on the policy instrument tackled, and what I would suggest is to check that table that we have on our website. And in case of doubt, please do check with your national point of contact as it is the responsibility of the partner state to confirm who is the policy responsible authority for the program. So you've got those two tools to check that.
Thanks a lot, Jan. And it's also the opportunity to remind or inform people that there are a lot of resources available on our website. Some links were posted in the chat, so don't hesitate to check this out. And now, Ségolène, I have a question for you, because although this question and answer session this morning is more about the preparation of the application form, someone already has a question about financial reporting and is asking if it is mandatory to report every 6 months, or if some smaller partners can also declare expenses only once a year.
Thank you very much. So yeah, great to see that you're also preparing the budget now. So about reporting, it is for every 6 months for everyone. So you should report financial costs also every 6 months. And about control expenses, when planning your budget now, you should also plan this cost in order that you have them already in your budget. But yeah, be ready to report every 6 months.
Exactly. And I actually have a second question for you, because we have a question from Marit about pilot action submitted at midterm. So Marit is asking if they have to subtract the eventual cost from the total budget in the application form, or if they can apply for additional funding for a pilot action at midterm.
Okay, thank you, Marit, for this second question from your side. So for pilot actions, indeed, there are 2 options. The first one is to propose a pilot action from the beginning, so now at application stage. Or if you're not really sure and you don't have a precise idea of this pilot, you should wait a little bit and you have a second opportunity to plan a pilot action and present it at midterm review, so towards the end of the core phase. So here, if you want to propose a pilot action, I understand from the beginning at the application stage, that's the contrary. So if you want to propose a pilot action at midterm review, then you don't put any cost of this pilot action within your budget now. And if you want to propose this pilot action at midterm review, then we will see at this moment, we will reassess the situation of your project, both in terms of contents, looking at the pilot proposal, and also looking at your budget, and we'll see if you need additional funds or not. So for now, if you don't propose a pilot, don't put any cost.
Yeah, I think it's a great advice and something to remind people that it's important that the budget is consistent to the activities planned. So if there is no pilot in the application form at this stage, there should not be any budget for it, but no worries. We will reassess this later at midterm if you want to apply for a pilot. Now maybe a question to Diane. We usually receive a lot of questions about eligibility of partners. And here is the question: is it eligible for a university to be project partner who work together with a municipality to improve its policy instrument, taking into account that the university has the necessary specific expertise on the project topic? So Diane, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you for this question. It is possible, that configuration. What you have to, the start point here is to think about the policy instrument addressed and to have the policy responsible authority. So it seems it is the municipality here that is involved in the project, and to have the help of a technical partner here. It would be a university. So indeed, it's possible. Just bear in mind that the policy relevance of the university will have to be explained, but that I mean its role in the policy making of the policy instrument addressed in the elaboration and implementation of the policy instrument. But yes, it is possible. That configuration is possible.
Great, thanks. Now a question from Daphne. Asking about section B1 of the application form and asking which partners are considered financed through the Investment for Jobs and Growth program. And here specifically saying that her research organization will support a regional policy authority addressing an objective of the Jobs and Growth program. So are the 2 partners financed by it? Maybe Ségolène, you want to say something, and Diane, maybe you want to complete later.
Yeah, okay, I'll start with the first part of the question. So indeed, there is a provision in the regulation which allows some partners to be financed through their Investment for Job and Growth program, meaning that their participation in the project is financed through their regional operational program. And if you tick yes to this question, then you will not have any budget within the project, but you will be financed with your operational Investment for Job and Growth program. So this is a very exceptional and rare case, and we did not have any case in the first call. And looking at the second part of your question, it feels like that what you're referring to is that you're addressing a reinvestment for job and growth program, meaning that you are trying to improve, you want to improve this policy instrument, and you're not financed by it for the activities. So it seems like the answer to this question would be no, you're not financed by an investment for job and growth program, but you're trying to improve it. But maybe Diane wants to add a few things on this program.
Well, Daphne, here, because of the question that is, if from what I understand, sorry, you're tackling an investment for job and growth goal program. Indeed, it's one of the requirements to have a minimum of one, so that's great. Just make sure that you have the policy responsible authority with you, and to demonstrate your policy relevance, as if I understood well the question, you are not the policy responsible authority. That's it.
That's fine. Thanks a lot for this answer to both of you. Maybe now a question about the limitation, the number of proposals the partner organization can be in. Monica is asking, are there any limitations for public research bodies to submit more than one proposal? Diane, maybe you want to take this one.
Thank you, Monica, for the question. Well, I'm going to reply in general, not just for public research bodies. There is no limitation per se. So it's possible to participate in different projects. However, it's not in line with the rationale of the Interreg Europe program. Indeed, there are two things that the multiple involvement could put into questions. Is the commitment of that partner organization in the participation of the project that is involved in, and also it increases the risk of double funding. So normally we wouldn't recommend it. It is possible if, for example, you have a big organization that has several departments and that want to participate in two different projects, tackling two different topics, in which two different departments of that organization will be involved. That being said, it will always have to be justified at application stage. And that's it. So it is possible, needs to be justified, and that's it.
Perfect. Now a question about the budget for you, Ségolène. Someone is asking a question about the expected participation in events that we organize at program level, and is asking specifically how should we plan the budget linked to this activity if we do not know when it will take place, and also if the event will be on-site event or online event.
Thank you very much for this question. So indeed, in the program manual, we indicate that the projects are expected to participate more or less from 6 to 10 events at program level during the whole project. So it can be some program events with some seminars or workshops, some policy learning platform activities, for instance. And for this, you might need a bit of staff cost to work a bit on some presentation for something, or to come to the events, but mostly you will need travel and accommodation costs. And for this, we do have a flat rate, a simplification. So for travel and accommodation cost for the staff members, these are covered by a 15% flat rate of staff cost. So it is automatically calculated, and which enables you also to have this simplification when planning your travel and accommodation costs, and not to worry too much about the number of events that you're going to participate. Also, when this flat rate was thought through, we took into consideration that you have to take part in these external events of the program. So you should have enough within this flat rate to come to the events. And yeah, we'll like to do some physically, of course, but also some online. But most likely they will be covered by the flat rate.
Exactly, and as you said, the flat rate is the result of statistical analysis we carried out at program level based on previous projects, which were also participating to program event.
Yeah.
Now there is a question about the geographical coverage. I think it's an interesting one, and I think we also have a slide for this, maybe a visual support. So I don't see the question anymore, but Diane, maybe you had time to read it and you're ready to answer.
Yes, so the question was about the number of partners in the consortium and also tackling about a bit the geographical coverage. Here, what I would mention is that we don't have a specific number for the configuration of the partnership. What we've seen based on previous experience is that a partnership of from 5 to 8 region is seems to be a good configuration. But as I just mentioned, there is no perfect number here. You will need to see with your project topic and the policy instrument that you want to address. What I would like to highlight is that Interreg Europe is a pan-European program. It goes beyond the transnational and cross-border areas. We have indeed in the new programming period 4 areas that have to be covered, as you can see in the slide, so north, east, south, and west. Consequently, when you are mentioning in your question about the focus in one specific region, well, that's not in line with the Interreg Europe program. Here we really want a broad geographical coverage. We want a balance between less and more developed regions. So those 4 geographical areas have to be covered in the partnership. And you need to take that into consideration. So not just focusing on Marseille.
Yes, important to get all the 4 different areas covered in the partnership. I also saw that we received a few questions about eligibility of some partners, and maybe we can even answer 2 questions at the same time, because there is one question asking if SME that cannot be a lead partner, but asking if it can still be funded by the program, and Francesca asking if a university can be a lead partner. So maybe Diane, you can answer these 2 questions.
Yes, I will be happy to do so. So Francesca, yes, a university can be a lead partner, and Anonymous, hi to you. Indeed, SME cannot be leader and are not eligible for funding under Interreg Europe. However, SME can participate in Interreg Europe project as a stakeholder. So that's the only participation for SMEs in our program.
Great. Now, Ségolène, I see that we also received a few questions related to the budget. The first one is about this recommendation that we have in the program manual, where we say that project budget should not exceed 2 million euro. This person is asking if this maximum amount of 2 million euro refers to European co-financing, so ERDF, or if it refers to the overall budget of the project, meaning ERDF and partner contribution.
Yeah, thank you for this question. So yeah, we refer to the ERDF between 1 million and 2 million of ERDF funding. However, this is only a recommendation, and that's what we see in average in our projects, with quite a high range. And it depends on the activities that you propose, if you have pilot action or not, the amount of partners. So yeah, really depending on the activities and on the justification you provide.
Great. And there is another question, which I think is also the opportunity to kind of give a reminder about how to calculate staff costs, because the question is, do we need to take into account the amount of the salary of the employed staff when calculating the staff cost, or the basic salary could be different? And I think this is an interesting question.
Yeah, completely. So yeah, it enables me to come back to how to calculate staff cost. So we now have one calculation method, which is fixed percentage. So meaning that you need to look at how many people you will need to work on the project. For instance, you say, okay, I will need one project coordinator, and then the amount of time this person will need to dedicate to this project. So let's say 60%. So then you look at the salary. Well, it depends. If you have already a person who is working on European projects and this person has time and can dedicate 60% of its time to the project, then you can take maybe its salary and take 60% of the gross employment cost. Or if you need to employ someone else, then it depends on your organization and on the salary, on the gross employment cost that you would be offering to this new person. But what is important is that really you need to look at the activities you're planning, and then look at the amount of time you would be needing, fix a percentage of time to be dedicated to the project, and then calculate with this percentage the gross employment cost.
Thanks a lot, Ségolène. We also have a question that we kind of already partially tackled in some of Diane's answer before, which is it a problem if the partners are involved in other Interreg projects other than Interreg Europe, for instance, Interreg Central Europe or any other Interreg programs? Diane, maybe you want to complete what you already mentioned.
Yes, as I said, the multiple involvement is not recommended here. When you're talking about other programs, we do not really take that into consideration. However, I would stress that the commitment of your organization to all those different projects might be questionable. We want good projects, and we would like a good participation of organizations. So I believe it's not recommended. The size of the organization also is to take into consideration, but yes, I think I've said it.
Yes, you did. Now a question that is also interesting, asking if we encourage on-site events or if it's better to plan hybrid events, as this is more sustainable. Maybe Ségolène, you want to take this one and answer this question?
Yeah, sure. For on-site events, hybrid events, online events, all of them are possible. And you should indicate in your work plan what you are planning to do. And of course, it depends on the type of activities also you are planning. So if you plan at the beginning a meeting to set up a bit what you're going to do, and it's a meeting just to discuss something, then maybe you can do something hybrid online, and that's fine, and it's more sustainable also in that sense, so it's okay. But then for exchange of experience, we also expect you to go on site and to meet and to see, and it's also the heart of interregional cooperations, to see people, to go on site and to discover in order to learn. So we expect you to travel, and in that sense you talk about sustainable travel. Well, of course, it's always great if you can take that into consideration. By train, there's a lot of options, but it depends where you're going. So it's a case-by-case basis. So summary would be, you can plan different types of events. We'll still expect you to travel for some. And also because you have a flat rate, so you also have some funds to travel, and it's also the heart of the program to meet. But sustainable travel is always a good option and a good thing to think about.
Exactly. Thanks also for this reminder.
Just Camille, maybe.
Yes.
I think from the chat, someone is asking again about the maximum amount for the budget. Maybe I was not clear enough. That it is a ERDF amount which is shown, which is indicated in the program manual. So from 1 million ERDF to 2 million ERDF. However, it is a recommendation, as I was saying, so it really depends on the activities, and what we'll be looking at is really what the activities and the link between what the budget you propose and the activities. But we're looking at ERDF in the amounts allocated.
Exactly as you said, we are referring to the ERDF amount, so the amount for funding provided by the program. I hope this is clearer now. Now maybe passing the floor to Diane, we have a question about indicators. Because if you're working on your project application form, you might have noticed already that there are indicators specified in the application template. And someone is asking, are those indicators sufficient to be included in the proposal in accordance with the template? Or, and there is no need to think of additional indicators? And are all these indicators obligatory to be reflected in the application form? Diane, what can you say about indicators?
Well, thank you for that question. Well, indeed, there are indicators that are set to monitor the project's implementation and performance. You have 5 different output indicators and 2 results indicator in the template, and that you will need to estimate at the beginning of the project, and that will be monitored during the implementation of your projects. That's the indicator that you are referring to. So yes, those one will need to be addressed. If you want to add other indicator, well, there is no restriction on this. If you believe and you see fit to use other indicator for your monitoring of your project, why not? But they are the one that we set in the template, and that we will take into consideration while monitoring your project with you guys.
Thanks, Diane. Ségolène, do you want maybe to answer this straightforward question asking, during the project execution, can a partner contract the stakeholder?
Yeah, sure. So it's quite a broad question. So of course it depends on the stakeholder, the link to the topic, etc. But if this is an external person, so you can plan some external cost and external expertise and services, but you just have to make sure that you respect the public procurement rules. And I don't know if this stakeholder, is an expert dealing with your project topic, is totally fine to contract it.
Exactly, good moment to put a reminder about public procurement rules. Well, still staying with Ségolène, as we have another budget-related question. Someone is asking, and I think it's something important maybe to clarify also, about external expertise costs. And I think this question refers to the fact that we have cost categories among which external expertise and services cost. And the question is where to integrate cost for interpretation and translation, because there is no cost category interpretation and translation cost in the program. So maybe Ségolène, you want to clarify the cost categories and the different type of cost under external and expertise services in the application form.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we have different type of cost categories. So we've got staff cost, travel and accommodation, external expertise, equipment, and infrastructure and works. If you go then to external expertise and services, for every external you want to contract for all the services that are out of your organization, then we have types of cost within this cost category of external expertise and services, but they are still quite broad. So in external expertise and services, if you want to plan some interpretation, translation cost, for instance, then you have to select in the type of cost, it's exchange of experience, external support. Then there are other type of costs, for instance, for communication, and you want to do a video which is one of the mandatory video to present the project. Then you have type of cost, communication, material. And for some of this type of cost, you'll have to provide a description. And in the descriptions, you can put, oh, this is for translation cost. So you will be able also to provide a bit more explanation. But we put on purpose some quite broad type of cost so that you can plan your cost within each type of cost, and it's quite open.
Great, thanks. We also have another question about external expertise and services. If we want to hire a specific organization for a training activity, do we have to go through a tender process or can we hire them directly? And if so, should we specify why hiring this organization is strategic in the application? So kind of a mix between what kind of activities Interreg Europe does finance, and also a reminder maybe about, again, public procurement. Ségolène?
Yeah, again, public procurement. So when you contract, you want to contract an external expert or services outside of your organization, please make sure you're in line with the public procurement rules, because you are talking now, I guess, about direct award, which can be quite tricky. So be cautious with that. I would recommend maybe you have someone in your organization dealing with public procurement and who knows best all the European rules, but also national rules, depending on the country, or the rules also of your own organization. So make sure you're in line with the public procurements when you want to contract someone. And then for the type of organization, you mentioned training activity. So this can be a bit tricky too. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, what you mean by training activity. But make sure that you have a look maybe again at the program manual, you look at the type of activities we finance, so really on exchange of experience and on capacity building, and to maybe training activity is more implementation oriented, and in that case, it would not fit into the program logic. So would recommend you check that too.
Thanks a lot, Ségolène. Diane, we did not forget about you. I see many questions for you on screen. Maybe we can start with the first one. A question about good practices that we talked about already, but also bad practices. Can we also include bad practices?
Thank you for that question. Well, normally what we value here in Interreg Europe for the exchange of experience are good practices, something that will inspire other region and to try that successful practices from another region, another ecosystem. So including bad practices, not really. And also what it says need to be a fast or smart project approach, which is better for Interreg Europe. Well, you have our methodology in the manual. We are not going to go into details with the fast or smart project approach. I think and I believe it depends on how you want to go with your project. If you want to follow those approach, just be sure to be in line with the Interreg Europe methodology. And that's it. If you want to use one or the other approach and you see it fit and it can bring something to your project, why not?
Great, thanks a lot, Diane. Yeah, we focus on the positive side, so good practices. There is also a question about external events, and someone is asking if it's possible to participate in some events organized at EU level, like the European Weeks of Regions and Cities, to kind of complement the learning process or also to disseminate the project.
Well, it's possible to participate in those events. What I will be stressing out is that for the exchange of experience, we really want the partnership, the regions from your project to interact together and to exchange on their ecosystem and the issue addressed by your project. So for the learning process and the exchange of experience, everything would be within the partnership activities. However, why not participating in events organized at EU level? It's always good to disseminate your project indeed, and to grasp any knowledge that you can within those events. I don't know if Sigolene, you want to add something about finance on this? No. Okay. Well, that's it.
Segolene doesn't have anything to add, but don't worry, Segolene, I have a question for you. We have a question asking if we can budget costs for services provided by associated policy authorities, like subcontracting costs or consulting. And I think it's also an important point.
Yeah, so associated policy authorities come with the partner because they're responsible for the policy instrument, but they do not have any budget. So it's not possible to put a budget for this type of partners. Only their travel and accommodation costs can be covered by the partner who can plan this under external expertise and services.
Thanks. Now, the next question is as follows. Can two partners with different policy instruments from the same country participate in the same pilot action? And there seems to be confusion between the Word document and the online form. So I think this question is also a good opportunity maybe for Jan to clarify this.
Yes, thank you for that question on pilot action, and more specifically on the joint character of pilot actions. And I'm glad if I can shed some light on something today. Replying to your question, it is possible that two partners from the same country participate in the same pilot action if and only if there is a third region participating in the pilot action coming from another country, because the European Commission really highlighted this about the joint character, is that the pilot action should be jointly developed with the involvement of partners from at least two participating countries. So if I would answer per se your question, it is possible if and only if you have a third region coming from another country. That being said, we would try to understand why two regions from the same country would participate in a project. And by this, I want to highlight that the rationale behind Interreg Europe program is really the cooperation, the interregional cooperation between different regions from different countries. So we would like to see why it is of added value to have two regions from the same country. And also it could impact or affect in a way the balance of the partnership and also the financial arrangements. So you need to take that into consideration here. And just to be super clear, two participating regions from two participating countries for to meet the requirement of the joint character of pilot actions.
Thanks for this reminder. There is another question also related to policy instruments, which asks if the project includes improvement of 4 policy instruments in the EU region, but only 2 partners are policy responsible authorities. Will the project meet the eligibility criteria for involvement of the policy responsible authorities? So maybe Diane.
Yes, the question as it is put here, it is indeed following the rule about the involvement of policy responsible authority, but it would have to be completed saying that the remaining 2 policy instruments should be well, for the 2 remaining policy instruments, the policy responsible authority should be involved in the partnership as associated policy authority. So yes, the rule behind all this is that for half of the policy instrument tackled, you have to have the policy responsible authority involved as a partner in the partnership. So that's compulsory. And for the remaining ones, the policy responsible authority should be involved as an associated policy authority. I hope
Thanks a lot.
it's answered it.
Thanks a lot, Jan. It's also maybe time for me to mention a few things about questions, because we are slowly reaching the end of today's session. I see we still have 9 questions, and we will try to answer them. But if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to send them on Slido. Even if we cannot take them live, we will answer in writing on Slido. So really, even if we are reaching the end of this session, don't hesitate to send us questions. Now, going back to the ones we received, maybe a question for Ségolène. Do we need to budget control costs for the if the member state has a centralized system? I think, Ségolène, you're muted, so we cannot hear you.
Sorry, little mic problem.
Oh, good now.
Thanks. Okay, so there are different types, of course, of control systems, and now you're referring to centralized control system. So even though centralized control systems are sometimes free of charge, so you do not have to pay for the control, there are also some cases where partners have to pay for the control. I think it's the case in Brussels, in Belgium, for the Brussels region. And in that case, they have to budget some control cost for these partners. So what I would recommend is that you go in the In My Country section in our websites, and then you can have a look at all the different countries and the control system. And if you need to plan some cost, it will also be indicated.
Thanks a lot, Ségolène. There is also a question about something we mentioned at the very beginning of this session about the start date of the project, and saying that 2024 is too wide. And the thing is that we cannot at this stage provide a very specific date, because it will of course depend on many different factors, including the number of applications we will receive and when the member states will be able to approve this project.
Let's say beginning first semester of 2024, hopefully. That's what we aim to.
Exactly. What we can say at this stage is first semester of 2024, but the call is still open at this stage, so it's very hard for us to give you more specific dates. Now a question about advisory lead partner. Maybe Diane, you want to say a few words about advisory lead partners, and if there is anything to have in mind, any key points to focus on.
Yes, about advisory partner, what is the main point for the participation in project is the expertise that they can offer to the whole partnership in order for the project to achieve its goals. So depending on the topic and the issue addressed by the whole partnership, that policy advisory partner should really bring something of added value to the partnership, and will also help in other cross-cutting tasks. It is possible, but that is the main key to focus on. And as lead partner, well, to take on the lead partner's task as project management for the whole partnership, for instance.
Thanks, Diane. We also have a question about the Mediterranean arc, and we kind of already answered this question earlier, and you were showing the slide on the geographical coverage and the 4 zones that needs to be included in the partnership of the project. I don't know, Diane, if you want to add something more to this.
Well, no, I think we already covered the basis. Really, we need to, for project to cover the 4 geographical areas that are stated and mentioned in the manual. So if it's not the case, maybe you should, if your project wants to just focus on Mediterranean arc, to find a transnational program that is in that zone, and that will give you the opportunity to develop your project, because Interreg Europe, we go beyond transnational areas.
Thanks, Jan. We have another question from Daphne about also something we already kind of tackled about the multiple involvement of a same organization. And here the question is quite specific because it refers to a research organization that has several institutes. And the question is, can different institutes from the same organization or department for a university be involved in different projects, or does it count as multiple involvement of the same organization?
Well, Daphne, thank you for that question. Indeed, it will be considered as multiple involvement, as already mentioned. It is not recommended, but it is possible, because as you are mentioning here, your organization is quite of big size, and you've got different institutes. So for example, if you've got two projects on two different issues, and you are involved with two different institutes from your organization, why not? It will have to be duly justified at application stage. So just take that into consideration. It's not recommended, it's possible. And for example, in that case, we would understand it, but it has to be justified, because the goal also for Interreg Europe is to give the opportunity for regions and organizations across all Europe to participate.
Thanks, Jan. Now I'm turning to Ségolène, because we received a question about the budget in a way, but also maybe an opportunity for us to remind people about the kind of services we provide to help them to submit their application. So the question is, can we submit our draft budget to the Joint Secretariat for feedback, or can you pre-check the application form only? So Ségolène, maybe you can answer this one.
Yeah, we actually have a service which is called Ask for Feedback, which is available on our website, available until the 26th, so next week. And on this, you can provide ideas and an idea of what you're proposing, more on the content side. But we do not have specific feedback for the budget for now, especially because it really is related to the activities. So if the activities are not relevant, then the budget won't be relevant either. And it's important for us that you first have the feedback on the activities so that you can modify if needed, and then we'll come back to the budget.
Yes, and of course, if you have questions, you also have a way to ask your questions, but you can also find a lot of resources on the website, the frequently asked questions, for instance. We have a question that you already answered to, Ségolène, but maybe a clarification to the question. We talked a few minutes ago about budgeting costs for associated policy authorities. And the question is back specifying that the question was if a partner can budget the cost, for instance, for consulting services provided by a municipality that is also associated policy authority in the project. So maybe again, a reminder about costs related to associated policy authorities.
Yeah, thank you very much. I didn't get maybe quite the extent of your question first. So you want to provide, to plan some consulting services coming from the associated policy authorities. So again, it's not possible to budget cost other than travel and accommodation cost of the associated policy under the partner budget. And it's quite unusual. I would say we did not see this during the first call. And if you want to plan consulting services providing from this municipality, then maybe you could also consider this municipality as a partner to be included. Because if they already want to come with staff costs, and that could be an option, maybe to be justified and to be seen on the content part if that's relevant or not. But that could be a way for you for this municipality to have a budget if they want to, and if they are able to. Maybe.
Thanks, Ségolène. I see 4 more questions on screen. We will take them and then close this intense session. We received quite many questions. So the first one we have on the screen: is it advisable to contact national points of contacts? Which kind of recommendation do they generally provide? I don't know, maybe Ségolène or Diane, or both of you.
I can start, maybe, and after Diane can also complete. But yeah, it's always advisable that you contact your national point of contacts. They know best also the rules that are applying at national level. If you have a doubt about the legal status of one of the partner, they can check this. If you have a doubt about the control system, they should be aware of it, or they can check it. Really, they know best what is the system in the country, and that's why it's always good to have a conversation with them if you have any doubts.
Thanks, thanks a lot. I don't know if Diane wants to add something, but if you don't, Diane, I still have a question for you about policy improvements. Actually, I think maybe the question is interesting from both aspects, activities, but also finance. And so policy improvements type 1, a new type of project. So this is the kind of policy improvements that we may sometimes see in our projects. And quoting the example we provide in the program manual, saying that the new project was approved for a budget of 80,000 euro, fully financed through this region's policy instrument, and asking if this funding need to be approved in the application. So I don't know if you want to say something about policy improvements, and if needed, Ségolène may also complete about the finance aspect.
Yes, indeed. Well, first, the thing that is not really clear is that it seems that the person is asking about a policy improvement at application stage. Normally, the policy improvement will be achieved thanks to the exchange of experience and the capacity building activities from the project. So at application stage, if it's already approved, then how was it done thanks to the project first? Then at application stage, what we ask the partners about the policy improvement of the policy instrument tackled is the kind of improvement here. For example, it's the type of new project. And that's good to know that's what you are envisioning and foreseeing. However, it can change during the implementation of the project. So just don't pay too much like to stressing out this. But at the application stage, normally you shouldn't have those kind of project already budgeted because normally it has to be done thanks to the exchange of experience. I'm not sure if I replied quite right to the question. So if not, you can always put it in writing, you know.
Yes, as I was saying earlier, if there are questions we cannot take live, or if you have questions later on, don't hesitate to send them to us. You might have seen the poll appearing on your screen. Please don't hesitate to answer. Yeah, we kind of count on your feedback to also design our future events and improve what needs to be improved. So thanks in advance for filling this short poll. We still have 3 questions. Let's go through them. Maybe Diane, a simple question about output indicators. Do they have to be updated already from the first progress report?
Well, it depends on the indicator, but for example, when you are talking about good practices, for sure, if you have some new good practices that are identified in the first semester, well, then yes, you will need to report them.
Thanks, Jan. Another question about the involvement of the policy responsible authorities as partner, which is compulsory for at least 50% of the policy instruments addressed in the project. Does this include the investment for jobs and growth program?
Yes, it includes all policy instruments addressed by the project.
Perfect. And last question, Salomera is asking, do I understand it correctly that there could be two regions from the same country involved, but this should be substantiated? For instance, if these two regions address two different objectives. Maybe, Diane, you can answer this last one.
Yes, thank you for your question. I understand it's about the project in itself and the pilot action, because we had a similar question previously, but it was about pilot action. First of all, we would ask why two regions from the same country would participate in an Interreg Europe project, as the goal of the Interreg Europe program, the rationale behind it is the interregional cooperation from different regions, from different countries. So why two regions from the same country? Also because it can impact the balanced partnership and the budget, and then if those two regions address two different objectives, here I'm not sure to quite understand, because normally there is one objective for the whole project to tackle a common situation across different regions in Europe. Maybe you are thinking about policy instrument, but still it's not clear. So if you want to have further details, you can submit it by writing. But the main thing to take into consideration is normally we want to see different regions from different countries. It's not not possible to have two regions from the same country, but for sure it should be justified, duly justified.
Thanks a lot, Jan. Thanks a lot, Ségolène. It's now time for us to close this session. Just a short and brief reminder about the services that are accessible for you for assisting you in developing your project application form. We mentioned already a few times during this session this morning that you can ask for feedback directly from our website. This service is open now and until the 26th of May. So if you want to get feedback on your proposal, on your idea, now is really the time to submit it. So don't hesitate. You can access as displayed on the screenshot directly from our project website. And as I said at the beginning of this session, this Q&A was recorded. The recording will be available shortly on our website. The recordings from the past sessions are already available. And in case you have any remaining question, or in case you want to participate, we still have one last Q&A session on 2nd of June. So this is the last opportunity for you to participate. So don't hesitate to register to this last question and answer session on 2nd of June. For any additional questions, we also mentioned we have a FAQ section on our website where you can already find quite a few answers. So don't hesitate to check this out. And you can also ask us your question from question form. The link is displayed on the slide and of course available directly on our website too. And finally, we organized a few webinars a few weeks ago on project development. The recordings are also on our website, and you can find the videos on the different topic: building a successful partnership, designing your project methodology, a video about management, budget, and finances, and finally a video also about your project communication. So again, don't hesitate to go there and have a look. These are usually quite short videos helping you and giving a lot of information that you need to have in mind to prepare the best possible application form. And that is now time for me to thank you for your participation, to send us your question. Thanks a lot to Diane and Sogolen for answering the questions. Thanks to Petra, Josephine, and Mia for the help behind the screen. And well, that's it. I wish you a very nice day, and I wish you the best of luck with the preparation of your project application.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.